Very good morning to all of you, all those who are here. Today we will discuss this chapter on the face of it by Susan Hill. And as we've done it in detail already, we're just revising it, and I shall be taking up your doubts also later on. This chapter it deals with the sense of loss, sense of isolation, and sense of alienation that people with disabilities feel, and it focuses on the fact that we should always look at the bright side of things. We should always look at the positive side of things, and we have to learn to adapt ourselves to the changing realities. So this chapter focuses on three main scenes, in which scene one is in Mr. Lamb's garden, which is the longest scene, and it is in this scene we have two characters in the scene. One is a 14-year-old boy, Derry, and another is an old man, Lamb, and it is in Mr. Lamb's garden. It is in Mr. Lamb's garden that we have the first scene, and this scene is the longest one because it is in this scene that the boy, Derry, the 14-year-old boy, undergoes a kind of a metamorphosis, undergoes a kind of a transformation. The second scene is in Derry's home, and the third scene is again in Mr. Lamb's garden. So there is something which is common between both of them, between Mr. Lamb and Mr. Derry. Can anyone just tell me what is the common thing between the two?
Ma'am, both of them are physically impaired. The Mr. Lamb have a broken leg, whereas Derry has a burnt face.
Yes. So the common thing between both of them is that both of them suffer from physical impairment. Mr. Lamb has a lost leg. His one of his legs it was lost in a bomb explosion actually during war, because he's retired from army and he lost one of his legs during a war. And the boy, the 14-year-old boy, Derry, he got his face burned because of acid. This is something which is common between them, and otherwise, they both are, if you look at the personalities, if you look at their behavior, if you look at their characteristics, they both are in strong, sharp contrast to each other. And because Mr. Lamb, what kind of a person is Mr. Lamb? How are they opposite to each other? Malvika, you will not speak. Yes, Vishwajit, speak loudly. So basically, Mr. Lamb is a very positive person and he looks at life in a positive way. But on the other hand, Lamb he always runs away from reality, runs away from people and from the things that he is means he's not similar to other people, and he has as he has on mark on his face. So he has a very negative aspect towards the life. So that's Yes, very good. He is very negative towards life. He has a very negative approach towards life. Derry, we are talking about Derry because he's self-obsessed with his face. He keeps on just wondering. He keeps on just looking at his face. He feels that people are afraid to look at his face, and he himself doesn't feel like looking into the mirror because of his face. And he has got some kind of an escapist tendency. He keeps on running away from life. On the other hand, Mr. Lamb is a kind of person who is very positive. He always looks at the brighter side of things, and he wants to make friends, and he's even happy that people when children call him lamey lamb, because he doesn't mind it and he feels that it fits him because he's lame. So if they call him lamey lamb, so he feels there's nothing wrong with it. So both are totally opposite to each other. And Berry is enters into Mr. Lamb's garden one day, and he because the gate is open, but still he climbed over the wall because he feels that there's nobody inside the garden, and he would spend some time there. And when Mr. Lamb notices him, he doesn't mind his presence because he's intentionally left the gate open for everybody. And he just addresses him. He just tells him that he has to mind the apples. He must mind the apples because he's afraid. Mr. Lamb is afraid that Derry might trip. So the young boy Derry, who has not been treated well by people, and who is a kind of he keeps on preserving himself in a kind of a shell. He is confused, and he also somewhat feels guilty that he has entered into somebody else's garden, a kind of a trespassing that he has committed. And when he's caught, he doesn't like it, and he's quite embarrassed also, and he wants to go home. but Mr. Lamb makes him feel comfortable there, and he says that he doesn't mind strangers, and he always keeps the gate open. He lets everybody enter inside his house, and inside his garden also. And Mr. Lamb cannot understand that why this little boy is so much reserved and so much afraid of life and so much complex ridden, and why does he feel so much alienated, so much isolated. So he tries to comfort him, he tries to say so many things to him, he tries to motivate him by saying different things, and he tries to build up his confidence by telling him that Mr. Lambert, that he loves all the creatures made by God, and that nothing in this world is worthless. Everything is valuable, everything is worth having. And he gives an example of something to prove it. And can anyone just elaborate? Which example does he give to prove that nothing in this world is worthless except for, Malavika and Vishwajit? Somebody else. What example does Mr. Lamb give to show that nothing in this world is worthless? Everything has its own value. Yes? Just hold on. Yes, Abhay. Bolo.
When I said the example of Lauren Leland, that when he explains Dairy Mem that in a garden there are is, besides the flower there are also weeds, also beautify the garden in the same way the flower did.
Yes, yes, very good. When he gives example
Weeds, and he says that in a garden we have where we have flowering different flowers, and we have weeds growing along with them. And he says that even weeds are of value, because, and he says that why do we give different kinds of nomenclature to things? Why is it that one green growing plant is called a flower, another green growing thing is called a weed? And he says that even weeds are important and they are of also value. And he says, he motivates Terry, he tries to build up his confidence, and he asks him to face the harsh realities of life bravely, instead of just withdrawing himself into a kind of a shell in which Derry is. And but Derry is as is, it is just because of his observations of life on life. He's not convinced by Mr. Lamb's observations on life, and Mr. Lamb even tries to make him understand that it is the inner beauty of the person that matters, not the outer beauty. But Derry does not agree to it. And why does he not agree to it? He feels that it is also important to look beautiful from outside. And because he gives the example of his own mother, and he says that even my mother kisses me uh, on the other side of my face, not on the burnt side. And he wished to draw attention to this fact, that why, when his mother avoids the ugly part of his face, the ugly side of his face, then what about others? And he regrets this fact that he would have to spend the the majority of his life, in fact, the whole of his life with half a face. And Mr. Lamb is the one who encourages him by saying that. He's got full body, and he can do anything with his because he's got his arms working, his legs working, and anything which other people can do with their body parts. And he also encourages the little boy Derry to look around at the world. There's so many beautiful things around, there's so many interesting things. And he can keep himself busy by looking at the good things, he can keep himself occupied. And he gives his own example. What example of himself does he give to Derry? How does Mr. Lamb keep himself busy? What is the example that he gives of himself? Yes, Vishwajit?
I think he used to keep himself busy was that he used to means pluck the apples from the trees and used to make jelly out of them for the children to make himself busy. He
Yes.
always means kept his doors of his home and garden open for the strangers to come, and he used to interact with them and talk with them.
Yes.
go asking like
Yes, very good. So he feels that he doesn't feel lonely, even if he's staying alone. He doesn't feel lonely because he keeps on enjoying, himself in the company of the beautiful things of nature. He finds the, bees buzzing very interesting, and there are different flowers in his garden. Then he listens to the sounds of not only bees but also birds and insects. And he says that he enjoys when he sits inside, under the sun, and he grows a lot of things around himself, like fruits and weeds, and there's a big lawn, there's a big house, and he's kept the doors open of everything, not only of the lawn but also of his house. And he doesn't even believe in having the curtains inside his house because he feels that along with the sunlight, he also feels like looking at the dark night, and he enjoys that also. So there are two aspects of life. If we have the bright side of life, we have the dark side also. And he says that he enjoys both of them. And he even asked Derry to stay on with him for some time, but Derry has to go back. But after talking with Mr. Lamb, he finds a lot of comfort, and he finds a lot of sense and a kind of inspiration that he has never got in his life. From Mr. Lamb's words, he gets a kind of, you know, some sense, some inspiration, and he feels that there's a lot of truth in Mr. Lamb's words. But he has to go back. Why does he have to go back? Because he fears that his mother would be waiting for him. So he has to go back, and he even promises that he would return to his garden in order to help him. You know, help him in doing what? In getting the apples from the trees, from the trees. So at home, what happens when in scene 2 when he goes home? What happens? What happens? Yes, anybody from among the online students? What happens in scene 2 when he goes home?
Delhi for meeting Mr. Lamb because he was not a good person. According to the society, the people around ma'am, the people around Derry's mother said that Mr. Lamb was not a good person. So she also wanted that Derry should remain, should not contact Mr. Lamb and not meet Mr. Lamb.
Yes. Okay. Vishwajit also wants to add on something. Bolo, bolo, Vishwajit, bolo.
Yes. So ma'am, basically, Delhi was in the neighborhood Delhi, and his family was very new. They have just shifted 3 months ago. So as Mr. Ram was living alone, so there was a lot of rumors about him. Due to which the brother feared that he would do something to Delhi, so that is why she stopped him from.
Yes.
Doing
So
this.
she strictly warns him. She actually doesn't want Derry to go back there because she's heard a lot of things about Mr. Lamb. There are a lot of rumors about Mr. Lamb in the society, and they've just shifted to that place 3 months back. So she is, kind of warning him, and she doesn't want that he should mix up with people like Mr. Lamb. But Derry says that he's determined to go back there because it is Mr. Lamb, according to Derry, who has given him a kind of new meaning to life. So therefore, he says that if he won't go back there, then he won't go anywhere else. He won't be able to go anywhere else. So he's determined to go back there. Okay, so there was one incident in which made Derry laugh a lot, and which actually it was from that incident onward that his attitude towards life changed. Can anyone just elaborate about that incident? There was one incident wherein which made his attitude change towards life. Yes, Vishwajit, which was that incident?
So basically, the incident that Mr. Lam was telling him stories about that how you need to see the life positively and what happens and happens on purpose. So basically, he told him that there was a person who feared of being dying, feared of being dying. So when he was out, so he should not he should think that he would be hit by a car, etc. So he totally separated himself and locked himself in a room. But in the room also he died because the photo frame, the photo fell on his head, due to which he died.
He died. Yes. So Mr. Lamb narrates a story of a person who is so fearful, who is so timid that he doesn't venture out of his house because he fears that if he would go out, then he would meet with some fatal accident and he would die. So he just locks himself inside the room, and what happens? And inside that room, a picture fell on his head and he died. So from this incident, he wanted to prove that point that you cannot change your destiny and you have to live your life fully with whatever means you have. So if Derry has a burnt face, then the rest of the body part is totally fine. So he has to make use of all those things, and he can do wonders. If he makes up his mind, he can do wonders and he can do much better than rest of the people. So this story, this particular incident actually is responsible for changing Terry's attitude, and it was at that after that this particular incident that his attitude towards Mr. Lamb in particular and life in general, it took a U-turn. Okay, so after he showed his determination to come back to Mr. Lamb's garden. He goes there, and that is the last scene of the story, scene 3. And in scene 3, what happens? What happens in scene 3? What happens in scene 3? When he runs towards Mr. Lamb's garden, he goes there. What does he find Mr. Lamb doing there? What is Mr. What happens in scene 3 in Mr. Lamb's garden? Bolo.
Garden, and then he sees that the Mr. Lamp was climbing a ladder to pick the apples to make a jelly, but he falls down and dies.
Yes.
And Mr. Derry cannot save him.
Yes. So in scene, Mr. Lamb, he sees Mr. Lamb is there on he has already climbed up a ladder in order to get the crab apples from the tree, but he just falls down. And when Derry enters the garden, he just announces that he has arrived, because Mr. Lamb has said that nobody ever comes back, but Derry definitely came back, and he just came in shouting, you see, I've come back, and suddenly he finds Mr. Lamb not up, but he's fallen, he's lying down on the ground, and he kneels down in order to wake him up, and he asks Mr. Lamb to get up, but it is of no use because Mr. Lamb remains unmoved and perhaps he has died. And it is at this point that Derry, he lost the one friend, the only friend who had changed his life. But now, after that transformation, after that metamorphosis, he knows now how to face the world, how to face reality, how to live with this change, the changed realities that we have in our life, and how to live with his disfigured, his burnt face. Okay, so I would be asking a few questions from you. You have to respond now. You've done the summary, but you will have to give me the answers to the question. First of all, justify the title on the face of it. If you're asked to justify the title on the face of it, how are you going to do it? Bolo, how would you justify the title on the face of it? Bolo, not Malvika or Vishwajit, somebody else. How would you justify this title on the face of it? Because I told you the other day also, whatever chapters we have done, or you can be asked to justify the title of any chapter, any work of fiction, even the play. So you can okay, Vishwajit wants to answer. Okay, Vishwajit, bolo thoda sa unchi bologe, okay? And the others can add on later on.
So basically, first of all, on the face of it, the name describes. So the first thing which we come to know from this is that the face of Delhi. Delhi's face was having a burn mark, and because of his face was burnt because of acid. And basically, Delhi was having a very negative image of life, and he always ran away from people. But similarly, Lamb also was physically disabled, but he was having a very positive way of life, or positive attitude towards life, and he always perceived the things in a positive way. Whereas Neri always perceived the things in a negative way. So there was a difference between them, and even the hardships of Mr. Lamb was more than Derry, because he was physically disabled. But Derry was not physically disabled, he was just having a face mark, but then also he was having a positive attitude towards life. So I think on the face of it, basically refers to the face of Derry and describe his hardships.
Yes, basically, Derry and Mr. Lamb's hardships, and basically on the face of it, it talks about the outward appearance of the things. And when we see the outward appearance, sometimes we find that the real self of the person is totally different from their outward appearance. And when we have read the chapter, when we look at the contents of the chapter, it basically focuses on this thing only, because Mr. Lamb, there are so many things which people talk about Mr. Lamb. There's so many stories, there's so many rumors about Mr. Lamb, but Mr. Lamb is a kind of a very generous, kind, and lovable kind of a person. Instead of the mysterious man, instead of the lame old fellow, which he's known to be, who lives alone in the house and in a very strange manner, and having a huge garden, and who leaves the gates open and doors open for everybody. And similarly, if we talk about Derry and his face, even though he has a scary face, he's a very he's a kind of a child who longs for love, who has a deep longing to be loved by people, but he feels that people are afraid of him because of his face. So both these characters, the main characters of the play, which are Mr. Lamb as well as Derry, they tell us, and they give us a message of a life, that we should not be judgmental about people just by looking at their outward appearance. And this play also lays stress on the fact that there may be so much of diversity in life, but as we see, there's so much of diversity, but beneath that diversity there is similarity. And because God has created all the human beings as equal, and we have to all live in a kind of a harmony with each other. Okay, so this was one question, and then another one is, we will not discuss the textbook questions because those have already been discussed. Okay, we're just discussing some of the questions which have not been discussed earlier. What significance would you attach to Derry's statement, "You should not believe all you hear"? What significance would you attach to Derry's statement, "You shouldn't believe all you hear"?
The Derry wants to say about the positive attitude of Mr. Lamb. He tries to tell his mother that she should not think upon the facts that the other people say, but should seize the inner beauty of a person, not the outside beauty or the humors that the society says.
Yes, very good. So this is a scene 2, wherein Derry has a conversation with his mother, and the mother says that we have heard a lot of things about Mr. Lamb, and she would not let him meet that man again, and she would not let him go there again. So it is at this point of time that Derry says that you shouldn't believe all you hear, and this is a statement which he had heard from Mr. Lamb only, and he believes in this statement. That is why he says this statement in front of his mother, because now he has acquired that positive attitude towards life that Mr. Lamb actually had. So he has got that sense of truth from Mr. Lamb, a sense of being with others and mingling with others and mixing up with others. So he tries to give this impression to his mother that there's nothing as that you should not believe in whatever you hear, and there is a gap between what you hear and what actually the reality is, as he has been impressed upon him and by Mr. Lamb, and he actually believes in this now. So this was a statement that was first made by Mr. Lamb, but Derry repeats it in front of his mother because he now actually believes in that. Okay. Next, why does Derry suspect that Mr. Lamb has no friends? Why does he suspect? Why, when Mr. Lamb says that he's got many friends, why doesn't Derry believe in that?
Mr. Lamb has no friends, ma'am, because when he asked him to name any one of them, he was not able to, and he also find these things peculiar, and so Mr. Lamb was not able to name any one of his friends.
Yes, very good. So Mr. Lamb, when he
name his friends. He was not even to name a single one. And whatever things he was saying, he was saying very peculiar things. And till the time Derry was there, he didn't see anyone entering into the garden or anyone coming in. So he believes that Mr. Lamb is just making up stories and he's telling lie. And he's also quite alienated, and he's also quite lonely, as Derry himself is. Okay. Next question is people I hate. How does he react to this statement of Derry? What does he say about hatred? What are Mr. Lamb's views about hatred? Yes, Vishwajit?
When I say that I hate some people I hate. So basically, he says that in fact we should not look into that what they think of us, but we should also we should not hate them, but instead of it we should learn something from them. That whether that sometimes they tell us
We learn a lot of things from others, and also he wants to stress upon this fact that hatred is the worst. Yes, yes, hatred is the worst enemy of man, and it does more harm than any bottle of acid can do, because acid only attacks you physically. It only burns you physically, but hatred burns you from inside. It attacks upon your emotional content, and it also attacks you spiritually. So it is hatred that is the worst enemy of mankind. This is what he wants to say through this, that there are some people I hate. So this is the reaction of Mr. Lamb to this statement, that we should not have any kind of hatred for anyone, because it will do much more harm than any bottle of acid. Okay. So you will, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face, and the world's there to be looked at. What does Mr. Lamb mean by this? So you will, but the world won't. The world's got a whole face, and the world's there to be looked at. Explain. What is the context in which Mr. Lamb makes such a statement? What is Derry thinking about at this point of time? He complains about something, he's thinking about something, and Mr. Lamb reacts to it like this. Derry is complaining that no one will ever love him because of his burnt face, and he's going to remain ugly. So this is the thing. This is the context. So what does Mr. Lamb try? How does he try to comfort him? How does Mr. Lamb try to comfort him? What is he told you the context? The world's got a whole face, and the world's there to be looked at. You just need to explain this. He wants to say that there is a lot of beauty inside the world. You just explore, you just have to explore, you just have to keep your mind open. Just explore the things around you, and you will find a lot of beautiful things around you. And because the world has a beautiful face. This is what he means to say, that the face of the world has a lot of beauty, enough beauty to be looked at. So don't bother, don't just restrict yourself to one aspect of you, that is your half burnt face. Okay. It's all relative, Beauty and the Beast. What does Mr. Lamb mean by, this thing? It's all relative, Beauty and the Beast. About different attitudes. Just a minute, Malvika. Huh.
The world, they can see one thing as beautiful and other as ugly. Because he explains by giving an example of a beauty and beast. Like in this story, the beast loved a monster.
Beauty loved.
Princess Beauty loved a monster. That was beast.
Yes.
So he says that people have different perspective about the world.
Yes, people have different perspectives about the world, and you may find one thing beautiful, and others may find the same thing ugly. So this is what he means to say. You need to have the right perspective towards life, right attitude towards life. So it's all relative. This is what he means. Form about Terry's mother from that brief encounter that we have in scene two, in the second part of the play. What idea do you form about his mother? Yes, Vishnu.
So basically, we can find out about that about that she believed people very easily, as she told Derry that he should not go to Mr. Lamb's house because she had heard many people about him. But she didn't even knew Mr. Lamb personally, but then also just by listening to others, she formed an opinion about Mr. Lamb that he is not a good person because he lives alone. So that is
Yes. So she is the one who believes on hearsay. She's the one who believes in rumors, and immediately warns Derry that he should not mix up with people like Mr. Lamb, because just because she's heard so many things about him, even though she doesn't know him personally. Also, she is not able to understand her own son. She is not able to understand the kind of emotional trauma her son is going through because of his burnt face, and she creates a lot of misunderstandings in his mind by kissing on the other side of his face. She's the one who's responsible for creating so many misunderstandings in his son's mind. So this is what we can think about his mother from that brief encounter that we have in scene 2. What makes Derry say that if I don't go back there, I'll never go anywhere in this world again? When he says, if I don't go back there, I'll never go anywhere in this world again. What makes Derry say so?
Basically, he made the statement because it was Mr. Lamb who gave him a spirit, or who gave him new hope to live his life, as he was very low because of his vision in his life. So that is why, and moreover, he promised Mr. Lamb that he would come back, and he didn't want to break his promise that he made with Mr. Lamb, who was the person who transformed his life.
Yes.
Changed his perspective.
So Mr. Lamb was the one who changed his perspective on life. Mr. Lamb was the one who transformed him, who brought that metamorphosis in him. So when he said that if I don't go back, I will never go anywhere. So he wants to just he wants to just stress upon this fact that now he has changed. Now he is and there's no coming back. He will not restrict himself to that one aspect of his life, to that half side of his face, the burnt part of his face. And now the world has opened up on him, and he wants to venture out, he wants to go out, and he wants to meet new people, not just by going to Mr. Lamb's garden. He wants to meet new people. He wants to see all the beauty that is there inside the world, and that is why he says that, and he wants to carry on with Mr. Lamb's vision. And this can also be one of the interpretations of the statement when he said that if I won't go there, then I won't go anywhere else in the world. If there's anything that you want to ask from this chapter, you can ask. If there's any question, any confusion, anything about this chapter that you have not followed, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll just take your attendance, and we have very few students today. I didn't know about your economics test, and even though some of the students of C2 are also there, I think they might have just finished off with their test. Okay, bachcha, then have a nice day. And,